Is it difficult to get a job? How to get a job? Cost of living? How did you find a house in UK? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in case you're on this channel for first time, I'm Mohinder and here we talk about anything and everything. A few days ago, I posted this question on my Instagram stories asking you all to ask me questions about life in London, the cost of living, how to get a job, visa queries, etc. And I did receive few questions, some very legitimate questions, the kind of questions that I had before I made the move. So in today's video, I'll be answering those queries. Now there's change in set today because due to lack of better planning of my weekend, I am running really short of time. I don't have much time, so I'll be cooking my lunch and side by side I'll try to answer your questions. Before we dive deeper into the video, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do hit the subscribe button and like this video if it is by any means helpful to you. Now I'm not a very good cook, so please be kind and let's get started with the questions. So we are going to make gajar matar today. Last week I have had so many takeaways and I was just experimenting with food. Now I'm really craving some ekdam ghar ka sabzi roti, so that is what I'm going to make today alongside for questions. So most of these questions are along the same lines, like there are a couple of questions which are around the job, bunch which are around visa, bunch which are around the cost of living. So I'll be clubbing the like questions and then answering them. So the first section is it difficult to get a job? How to get a job? Apart from FANG, which all other companies sponsor work permits, etc. Okay, so taking a step back, so I have done my bachelor's in technology with computer science as major, and I am not working with FANG. So FANG, if you don't know, it's Facebook, Apple, Amazon. N is I think Netflix, and then G is Google. So I am not working with FANG. I am working with a consulting company. I am into consultancy. So there are other companies apart from the FANG or the popular ones that we know which sponsor visa here in UK. Talking about the next thing, is it difficult to get a job? Personally, my experience, I would say it was as challenging it would be to get a job in India. I would advise that you continue looking on LinkedIn for the sector that you're interested in, the kind of role that you're interested in, and then just go for it. Only challenging part comes in when it comes to applying for visa, but again it is your company which takes care of your visa. They are responsible for getting you a certificate of sponsorship. Only thing that you are obligated to is providing them the necessary documents that they require. Now these documents may be things like getting a TB test or things like your English efficiency certifications, etc. Now normally it is not that challenging a thing. For me personally, it was a bit more complicated because my entire visa process was during the lockdown. So because the entire country was under lockdown, I had to find those few days when you get the permit to travel to another city or state and get the TB test done, not get the NARIC test done. So things like that. In fact, the visa process, I think, for UK is fairly easy. So if a legitimate company is applying for you on your behalf, it is quite a straightforward process. There is no interview per se. For example, on the day of my consulate appointment, all I had to do is go there, give my biometrics, get a picture clicked, submit my documents, and then it was just a wait for 2 weeks, I think. And that was also because at that point of time, again because of COVID, there were only limited offices open, and the option to escalate the visa process to fast track it was not available. But now I think you can get that done. I think I had started with the question around job, but I ended up answering the visa process. So going to the next question, how do we get a job in UK and move to UK? Is it difficult to find a job? Yeah, sorry, to focus on this question. It is not very difficult to find a job in UK. Like I mentioned, just make sure you keep yourself updated with the market requirements. Search on LinkedIn, all of the websites that are out there. Search for your contacts in those companies. They would be the best people to refer you, because if these companies are investing so much in you to get you on board from a different country by applying for your visa and then undertaking all that responsibility, they always look for somebody who can vouch for you. So it's always better if you can find somebody in that company who can refer you. So if you know somebody who's working think that it's always a plus point. So coming back, I don't think getting a job in UK is a very difficult process. You just need to keep a watch out for what role you want, what company you're looking for, and please make sure, do your research on your behalf to ensure that the company that you're going to is a legitimate company, and that the salary that you're being offered is a competitive one. There are so many websites out there to check what kind of salary you should be expecting with your experience or with the role that the company is offering you. And seriously guys, make sure you make good use of platforms like LinkedIn, etc. People on LinkedIn are really nice. Like it is a very good community. Nobody would ever say no to help you out. If you reach out to anybody to ask what kind of experience it is or any sort of help, people would always help you. You just need to reach out to someone. You just need to ask. You need to be humble enough to question. Because if you don't ask, the answer is no. How I was able to find out the current job will provide you sponsorship. Most of the companies, when they put out job notice, they do mention that international candidates are also invited and that they will sponsor your job. And if it is not mentioned, I would say either reach out to the HR or reach out to the people working in that company, network through LinkedIn. If you think that is not a very feasible option, just go for it, just apply for it. At the max, they would not reach out to you, but just do your part, just apply for it, just go for it. Somebody has asked thoughts on Queen. No thoughts. I don't think much about the Queen. Okay, I am done shopping. Now moving on to the next question. Next question that we have is around cost of living. Okay, so cost of living is something very subjective, and that is not something which is for UK or particularly for London. Even if you are somebody who's in India, I think cost of living is something so subjective. It depends upon the lifestyle that you're leading, the kind of apartment you're living in, what kind of other expenses are there that you have. Talking about my expenses, so I stay by myself. I have a studio apartment. So obviously if you are staying and sharing with someone, everything would split by half. Your cost of rent would come down, your cost of utilities, your heat, water, electricity, Wi-Fi, council tax, everything splits between the number of people sharing the apartment. But for me, I am the only one paying. So for rent, for electricity, water, heat, council tax, Wi-Fi, all included, it comes around somewhere to £1,500 every month. And this is just the cost of just the bills that I am paying. So food, groceries, everything that is separate from this. Now mind you, I am a vegetarian and I am not a very party person, and I don't drink or smoke. So for that, I think you can add maybe another £150 for every month. And then if you are somebody who is really fond of having takeaways, ordering in, so I think once ordering in costs you around £10 to £15. Okay, while we wait for that, moving to the next question. Do you stay with someone? If not, is it difficult to stay alone? I don't stay with anyone. I stay by myself. And is it difficult? It has both its pros and cons. The pros being that it's very independent. This is my space. I can do whatever I want. It's just complete freedom. Difficult part is that one, like legit every time I have to talk to somebody, I have to pick up my phone, be it my friends, be it my family or anybody it is. Second, the cost of living shoots up the roof. Like I mentioned, I'm the only one paying all the bills. So naturally, if I was staying with someone, the cost of living would have been half, if not half, would have been like maybe 60 or 70% of this. But then again, because of lockdown and everything, this is the space where I do everything. This is the space where I sleep, this is where I work, and I'm at home all the time. So I think it is very variable about who you are staying with, and that can like make or break your mental health. So I did not want to take that chance, and the kind of person that I'm okay with staying alone. I mean, sure, the cost and everything, it makes difficult, and some days are more difficult than others. But it's fine. Like, it's okay. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the sabzi, I'll also put together the atta for the rotis. Okay, the atta is done, and if you're somebody like me who really struggles with atta and cooking, and if you're staying here or if you are planning to move here, make sure you get a food processor. It has legit been a savior for me. Okay, while that is getting ready, moving to the next question. How did you find a house in UK? I was actually planning on doing a different video, entirely different video on this, but sure, we can include that in this one. So finding a house in UK, especially if you're not in UK, it does get challenging. I was in India, but then there are many websites available. There's Right to Move and there are a few others. I'll link them in the description below. So you can go on them and you can look for the listings. Another way I would advise is maybe like when you're moving here, get Airbnb or a hotel for a few days or maybe a month or so, and then meanwhile look for the apartment yourself. Fortunately, I had people who I knew here and they were able to get me in touch with an agent, and I was able to find this apartment and they were able to come and check this apartment for me. But if that is not an option for you, I think Right to Move, these websites, and actually once you make an account on any of these websites, the agents would start reaching out to you automatically. So that is one way to go about it. And the second way, like I mentioned, is stay at your friends or Airbnb or hotel or something like that for a week or two, and meanwhile you will also get to know the area and you'll be able to go and check the apartment yourself. So finally adding the vegetables in this, the gajar and matar. I'm very lazy, so I get these frozen ones. With that done, coming to next question. How do you manage groceries since you're vegetarian? Groceries are not that difficult to find because of me being vegetarian. You find so many options, all the sabzis that you have, all the breads, the pastas. You can find all vegan options. In fact, ready to cook options are also very much available. A huge variety is available for vegetarian in the grocery stores. It gets difficult when it comes to restaurants. So that is when it gets little challenging to find the options which do not have any egg or any kind of meat or fish, things like that. But for groceries, it is very easy. If you're somebody who is fond of cooking, ingredients would not be a problem for you to get. If you would be interested in seeing how I shop my groceries, mention that in the comment section and I'll be happy to do that for you. Okay, my last secret ingredient to any sabzi I make is desi ghee. So towards the end or before adding the veggies, I add 1 spoonful of desi ghee. I'll set it aside to rest for a few minutes now, and it's almost done. And with that, we also come to our last question, which is it worth moving there? Now, while it is little soon to answer this question, I haven't even completed a year here yet, but from all the experiences that I have had, from exposure on the job that I'm doing or otherwise, all the adulting things which I had never done before, paying bills, looking for apartment, paying council taxes. I mean, I never knew you were supposed to pay for water, and man, Wi-Fi is expensive. So all those experiences definitely worth it. There are few days when you really question, is it worth staying away from home? Is it worth staying away from family? Especially with all that is happening around, and your parents are alone back home. There are days you question your decisions, but most days it is fine. So I think I still have a long way to go to be able to decide if it was all worth it or not. But as of now, I'm happy, and I think that is okay, sufficient for now. I think I was able to answer all the questions that I had received, and I hope this video is helpful to you. And if you have any more questions which I have not covered in this one, I know I did digress a little bit from here and there, but if there are any questions that you have for me, feel free to add them in the comment section. I always respond to all the comments, and if there are any other questions which you're not comfortable asking in the comment section, I'll add my Insta handle here and you can DM me and I'll make sure I respond. And I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take care of yourself and be nice to each other. Bye.